Hi guys, one last video for today. Again, it's still Saturday, January 30th, and we're waiting for the storm. So I want to show one more trick as I'm doing my Valentine's Day cards. I want to show you one more trick to use if you're using the detailed hearts die that is part of the bundled set with the heart to heart. So just a couple little tricks that I've done to help make it easier for this, because as you can see, there's hearts all over the place. When this die, once you run it through, gives you a million hearts that are left over, as well as a great outline. Here's a picture of the outline just so you can see. So it's really nice to put down and then to put a sentiment or a heart or something across this for your Valentine's Day card. So let me give you a few tricks and tips that I've learned. Okay, let me get out. This does require the big Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine, so the Mama. Okay, what I do when I am cutting out on these foiled sheets, it's very easy for it to look like it's scratched because of the pressure from your plates. So what I tend to do is I'll take a piece of just regular copy paper and I'll put it over the foil sheet and then put my, let me fold that so I can see where the edge is, and then I will go ahead and put that on top of there. This helps to keep some of the etchings from your cutting pads from being transferred onto your foil sheet. So we're going to go ahead and put that down, and then we're going to, and the static electricity is fantastic that gets generated when you do this, so I'll show you that in a second. So you're going to run it through. It may or may not crack depending on how many times you've done it, but it's not that hard. And if it does sound like it's cracking, it's not breaking anything. Okay, so I do not remove the plates until I move the machine out of the way and do one more trick. Now you're going to have a lot of typing paper that's cut out, of course. What I will do is I will go ahead and turn this upside down, and some of the hearts might come off on there. Here's your paper one and here's your foil one. I always have a pill bottle laying around that I'll put my foil pieces into, just to keep them for later use. So before I lift this off the sheet, and you have to be very careful because there's a lot of intricate, delicate parts, I take a piece of press and seal and I will press it on the back. Now you have to be careful, especially in these corners where it's really frail. I have ripped a lot of them that way, but the reason I do it like this is so that when I do take it off and turn it over, take off that die, and you're going to go very carefully. There's a lot of cutting parts, so you don't want to pull too much. I don't use my take your pick tool because sometimes you'll poke right through them. So I tend to use my bone folder because it's not as big of a point, and I'll push it away from the die. This is the corner you really want to be careful. This is the one that 9 times out of 10 is going to rip on you. Okay, so it looks like it's releasing pretty good. You gotta remember you have that typing paper on top. So then as it's releasing, then I will turn it over and start pulling it gently. Again, gently, because there are corners that will rip off of this. So as you can see, a lot of that's staying on there, but the parts that are not part of the die are pulling away. So let's go ahead and get this last corner done. Looks like a lot of it's released. It's just this last corner that you want to be careful of. Because again, you have a lot of moving parts here. All right, so let's see now if we can get those out of there. Okay. All right. I think there's just one little piece that's stuck. There we go. So now, as you can see, it's coming apart. Without this, it would come off a lot easier, but then you have these little hearts all over. At least here, the hearts are sticking somewhat onto your press and seal. So here's that piece, that piece. And we're almost there. You can see these are the edges coming out from inside those intricate hearts. This one last one here. Okay, so now it's gone. Of course, you're going to have all those papers in there too. Your typing paper. So then, now that we have this, we can go, again, I still use my ticket pick tool, and I slowly use that to help bring it up. I don't use my hands, because when I use my hands, 9 times out of 10, I do it too strong. So I'm just kind of moving this in, loosening that, and then pulling up gently. Okay. It may seem like a waste of time, but I find that this is the best way that I have that my foil cutout does not have scratches all over it, and B, that I don't have heart confetti all over my floor. Like I said, your corners are the toughest ones, and they're the ones that are going to rip if you don't take care with it. So now I can take off that paper, the typing paper, and there will be hearts on there. So here I have my full piece. You can see no rips. I go from the bottom because you can usually see where the cuts have been made. And again, you can use your take a pick tool. I like using my hands because there's so much static electricity that's already in these cutouts that I just don't want to add another tool that may either poke it or make it more likely to fly across the room. So as you can see, I'm just taking these off. Sometimes, depending on the situation in your house, there might be a lot of static within your house. Oh, listen to that. My home phone is ringing. I bet you it's someone telling me my car warranty is about to expire. Do you get those calls too? 3, 4 times a day? Funny. Okay, so I'm taking all of these out. And if they are stuck onto your cutting surface, like over here, what I tend to do with that, let me just get the last few out. Let me get those last few out. Oh my goodness. I guess that's what I get when I use a brand new sheet of the press and seal. All right, so as you can see, they're all cut out. Now, to layer them onto your cardstock, some people prefer to use the Sizzix sheets before this, the adhesive sheets. Oh, there's one that I missed. You can tell because there's a little seam around it. Okay. I find, especially since I'm going to be putting these on cardstock, and I don't think this is the right size. No, I'll have to cut this down. But if I'm putting it on this, I find that just putting the glue on these solid ones, and then also where the hearts in the 4 corners meet, I put them there too. And by doing that, here, let me go ahead and pick this out. Oh, I have a lot of pieces there. Another thing I tend to use is, this is my keyboard brush that I got with my keyboard. And if they're stuck because of static electricity, I'll just push them down like this and push them in there. Now, some of these are the foil, some of these are the white copier paper. It doesn't really matter to me because both can be used later on. So I'll just use that to press them down. And then we have all of these on the table. Again, Just going to take the ones that are actually the hearts and throw them in there. And what's even kind of funny, if you shake this up, the foil ones usually will stick to the bottle itself, and the typing paper will fall to the bottom, you know, instead of having to sort them all. Okay, like I said, take my glue. Let me get here. Let me see if this Rococo Rose. Let me cut this down real quick. We'll put it against that. So let's see. 5.5 by 5.5 by 11. Yep. Okay. So let me score this at the 4.4 1/4. This is really going to be a quick video, but see how it turns out? This is what I do. I make it a lot longer than it needs to be. Oh, that is way too long. Oh, this is supposed to be 4 1/4. Sorry. Thought that looked way too long. Let me go ahead, get my bone folder in here. Okay, now we'll show you because I don't want to ruin that one. All right, so now we got a good firm on there. Take this, I'm going to put it on the solid parts. Not a lot, you don't need a lot. So all the solid hearts. And I'm also going to put it somewhere some of these hearts meet near the top and the middle and the bottom. And remember, this does dry clear, so even if you get a little on, that's fine, but getting the glue on the foil itself is hard to get off, so just be careful. So see, this probably has glue on it, so I'm not going to use that hand to touch. I put it down, I get my silicone sheet, and I press. The reason I do that is the glue will not stick to the silicone sheet. So I'll just hold it for a second. And if parts come up, then you'll just re-glue them. Like that little bit came up. So just going to put a little piece of glue on the very edge there. At this point, you don't want to squeeze that because it will come out tremendously. Put it back in there. All right, hold it for a second. And there you go. May seem like a lot of work with the first couple times you do it, but you know what? It really does end up working beautifully to make sure that you don't have the scratches on there, because you can see if you just go like that, you get little scratches and dents. So you get a nice shiny surface and you don't get any runaway hearts. All right, guys, thanks a lot. This is the last video for today. So I'm going to stand up, turn it off, and hope you all have a wonderful weekend. I may jump on briefly tomorrow. Not really sure, but depends on how much I get done tonight. All right, be safe out there. Thanks. Bye.